What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend astrology horoscope for the weekend of September 7th and the 8th of 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all so much. I hope everybody had a great week. It's nice to get back outdoors again and film. I know you guys enjoy it. I definitely do too. I just love being outside, especially in the weather right now. It's just so good. Well, this weekend is definitely a weekend for us. We're going to see the sun in Virgo, of course, start to really oppose and exactly oppose on Saturday and into Sunday Saturn in Pisces, which brings much more of a fine point, critical approach to a lot of things in life. It's already critical. We've had the new moon in Virgo. It's as Virgo season as it's going to get. And by the end of Sunday night, we're going to see Mercury, the Lord of Virgo, come in to Virgo too. So it's definitely getting pretty pinpoint here, and I think that this Saturn's very interesting because it's retrograde. It's going to come back to 15 degrees to make that opposition, and the sun's going to move there on Saturday and come to 16 degrees on Sunday. But gosh, this brings up really stepping up into a lot of things that we want to be determined for. I mean, it's a very funny energy because it's bringing up a lot of little things, and it's making us have to spiritually and physically prepare ourselves for getting over humps, for perfecting our own form. But it's funny when you even mention perfection, right? And maybe this is something with Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces and this Virgo season, is we live in a day and age where it's so Neptune, and it has been since 2012, but especially at these final degrees here. And the way social media is set up and the way life's set up, where everything looks so perfect. Everything's perfectly edited, perfectly curated for online and for marketing and, to kind of produce a, production quality of something. Which is funny because I think about these horoscopes and I've never edited a single horoscope. When I hit play or when I hit record, I just record. I don't chop it. I don't take out things. I don't say, oh, I slipped up on a word, I got to cut that out. I just accept it for what it is, and I feel like it's true to the channel, true to the message, to show that sort of human form. So I feel like there is something about life right now where it's it's okay to have little slip-ups, right? It's okay to be human. It's okay to not be perfect. It's perfectly perfect to be that way in all reality. And the only way that we ever accomplish something is trial and error many times. And we just have to keep being persistent. So it's a weekend to stay persistent, stay on your routine, stay on your grind. Don't waste time right now, right? But we also don't want to feel so burdened by time that it is some kind of subconscious worry, some kind of stress, some kind of something that we're so hyper fixated and focused on a certain time being the certain way that it has to show up, or some perfected form. These are things that can suffocate us. Saturn's a little suffocating, especially in opposition in Pisces. It's not only with Virgo season is it physically suffocating, but it's spiritually suffocating as well. And we want to be mindful of that we're not choking ourselves out of a quality of life here, that we're not choking ourselves out of identifying certain things or weaknesses that we can improve on, or even choking ourselves out of improvement by just saying everything's perfectly fine. Nothing can get better. I am perfect. And you are, and I'm not saying you're not, but this is a time of improvement. This is a time of adjustment. It's a time of change. It's a time of getting things dialed and in order. And it's a time where we want to put that work in. We want to find a healthy balance between taking a break this weekend and being very present with our surroundings and with our inner world. And we also want to still be goal-driven to an extent and not feel suffocated or stressed out by certain things that we're striving for, but feel motivated by the purity of our soul that wants to create something, that wants to build, that wants to better and empower different ways in life without trying to just bypass or edit out the stuff that isn't important, because it's all important. And every little thing that you might think is the worst thing is actually just something to use as data, as I've been saying a lot lately, so that you can better empower and make a necessary shift and a change. And this weekend can be really potent for that with the Sun opposite Saturn. The Moon's going to be in fall position in Scorpio. It's in a weird position on Saturday because it just comes in early in the morning, and it does trine Mars in Cancer. And it's like, okay, desires, emotions, we're feeling it. There can be some really good energy about how to trust ourselves and how to move forward. But then as it separates, Mars is out of bounds in Cancer. It's still technically separating from a square from Neptune. The Moon really goes void, of course. It's not really making any aspects. It will quincunx the North Node. But again, it's debatable if a quincunx is considered a major aspect. I tend to think so, but I mean, that's really it. So there's this weird sort of like depth of feeling mixed with a Sun opposite Saturn that it could be kind of a spiral. It could really take us like into a deeper place than is necessary. And it's almost because of some kind of a worry or stress or emotional burden, when really it's just the adjustment necessary to see the burden in life and to make a change and to do the thing to embetter or empower and just get one step better. So there's a ton of like emotional drive, but what are we using it for? Are we using it for something that's empowering? Are we using it for something creative? Are we using it for something that's dialing in a process that's making life better, that's harvesting a better day, a better week, a better month, a better year? It all adds up, and I think that's where we can, build routine that we're intensely passionate about, that we are intensely connected to. But I mean, we can also double down here on things that aren't good for us. And then I think that's where some really deep emotional sort of, even almost feeling like we abandon ourselves or feeling like other people have abandoned us. There could be some sense of like deep emotional martyrdom that could come this weekend, especially with Venus in Libra and relationships being heightened, and the South Node, of course, in Libra, which the South Node's just owning the North Node right now. It's a Mars in fall position in Cancer, the ruler of the North Node, and it's a South Node in Libra with its ruler, Venus, right there, and they already conjuncted, right? So there's like a deep feeling of attachment to a lot of things that could be out external, that they could be what we have relationships to, that could be part of this, really weird stress, or feeling like we're not getting what we want, or feeling like we're disconnected or betrayed when what we are desiring so badly is more of an intense merge. So we got to be really careful on how we feel emotion and what we do with it. Can we channel that power into something that's really valuable for us, that's helping us build more security and trust and forward momentum in our own personal lives? Or are we going to slip? So there's slippery moments this weekend, but at the same time, there's something intensely beautiful that we want to, figure out too. And I think there's a lot of contemplation, and there's a lot of like mental stimulation and deep diving right now. So deep dive for the creative, bomb things. And I think too, with Mercury this weekend finishing up in Leo and hitting that third and final square to Uranus and Taurus. Now Uranus is retrograde, where Mercury's been retrograde. So there is this like, it could be an extreme aha moment of like, whoa, what did I just realize? Holy shit. That's all I had to do? That's the best idea I've ever had. Where did it come from? Kayaker. Where did he come from? But it's another way we can trap ourselves too, because if we're not liberating our mind for something that's creative and passionate and exhilarating to an extent, exciting, if we're not using our mind in a way that's unique and special to us, and we're following some set of rules or guidelines, or trying to live on someone else's routine or schedule, and thinking that that's going to provide us with everything we need, well, I think that's where we feel a little awkward this weekend, and where we feel a little stuck and confined and suffocated from our own truths, from our own light, from our own empowerment. Sunday is where things do get really interesting, I think, more so than Saturday, because we see this Sun and Saturn in their opposition, and then we see the Moon come through this midsection of Scorpio and kind of become this mediator between this opposition between the Sun and Saturn, where it's making a trine to Saturn, it's making a sextile to the Sun in Virgo. And all of a sudden, we realize how deep our emotional authority and passion runs, and if we're ready to dial in details, to do something better and clean up messy situations in our life, and how dedicated we are, and knowing that our intuition's been telling us to do something and dial something in, and then we can feel like very emotionally empowered to go do exactly that, especially with Mercury coming to Regulus, coming into its home sign of Virgo and direct, and almost, getting ready a few days away from post-retrograde shadow ending. So I feel like there's a lot of like deep revelation, of like, whoa. It can be a lot of rising up like the Phoenix moments this weekend, especially Sunday, and like realizing that it takes time to build great things in life. It takes time to do something special in life, and Pluto's back in Capricorn, and we're all kind of like, whoa. What's my purpose? What am I going to accomplish? Well, I think that we're getting a lot of signs and hints about the little things we need to do for ourselves in our personal life to accomplish bigger things. But the bigger things can't be accomplished until we have this deep, intricate, special, liberated understanding of our own personal life and of our own inner world, and of the authority that can bring us. And of how, when that's locked down, you get the relationship outside of you. When that's locked down, you get the job. You start the business outside of you. You have to have that foundation. And this is like a deep, foundational rebuild weekend of like, oh my God, it was me the whole time. And it didn't even have to be perfect. It just took the necessary steps. That was loud. Somebody took the air out of their paddleboard. This is the lake I paddleboard at the most, by the way. That's the thing too, is like, where are we letting air out of our own sails? Where are we losing the buoyancy right now to stop being resilient, to stop climbing, and to stop trying? Whether it's just the little things that can make life better, that can make everything better, and it's all stuff within us. And it just makes every little thing click. So it's a deep weekend of introspection that I think shows a lot of what's left to climb, and kind of a lot of like instant downloads of the right path to get over this mountain. Because some people might go straight up it, and some people might hit the switchbacks, and some people might circle around it and spiral up it. It doesn't really matter what path is taken. You have to find your unique way, and what feels right for you, and what feels inspiring. And it's those inspiring moments that create this vision of empowerment and this feeling of empowerment. And that's where we got to just channel emotional authority and do the right thing, which is one step in front of the other. And sometimes that happens to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And that 1 step back is fucking crucial. And that 1 step back is where we get the data we need to make progress and take another 2 steps forward. So we don't want to be so hard and suffocating on our progress. We just need to keep building on the progress and cleaning up and cutting out the stuff that's degressing. So stop focusing on just the degression, if it's happening in your life, and focus on all the positive progression, because this is a really alchemizing weekend, and you can really figure a lot out, and you can really have a good understanding of what's better for you, what's going to give you more quality, better relationships, more abundance, more personal authority, more personal drive to take you to the next level. And as the sun's still approaching that square to Jupiter this weekend, you know, have big visions too. Maybe don't expect it to just happen, but you know what? Dream a little. Saturn's almost like in Pisces, like, wait, you can't dream right now. You definitely can. Without a vision, without a dream, and then cultivating some kind of a plan to get it done, it's not just going to fall from the sky into your lap. It doesn't work that way. Every now and then we get lucky, but the thing about the Sun square Jupiter is like, it's not lucky. It's not. You have to take action for your luck and for your abundance and for the amplification of how much your mind can grow, your soul can grow, your identity can grow. And it takes work, effort, and dialing in. So pay attention to your feelings and your thoughts. There's so much introspection that you're going to get a lot. There's a lot of clarity that can be found, but it's only going to be found by those who want to kind of work for it and earn the clarity. Because if you give up on it and you think it's just going to happen, well, I feel like Saturn's teaching us a nice little lesson over here and saying, especially with Pluto back in Capricorn, like, just that archetype don't work that way. Saturn Capricorn, you don't just get lucky. You don't just get things handed to you. Every single step of the way is earned. And we're in this like very final, like crucial moment of being like, okay, I understand everything's earned and I just got to go earn it for myself. And if you do, it'll be better. All right. See what the card is for today and tomorrow for this weekend. And don't feel like the air is getting, you know, just taken out of you. I feel like that's kind of this Saturn opposition. If the air is getting released, it's only so that you can take a bigger, deep breath in and accumulate more of the things that's going to bring you more into alignment and more into power with the ways that you're going to navigate your reality and how to do it from a much stronger place. The moon in reverse. I don't know, it feels creepy crawly a little bit. Like a moon in Scorpio, getting the moon card reversed, like it feels like there's just so many like little fears that are going to come up and these worries and these things that are just going to make us, It's like, what is Halloween here already? Like, no, it's not, it's still summertime. Like, we need to be willing to like rise up through the tides. When the tides come in and we feel like we're just running out of space, we have to figure out a way to elevate ourselves above it. When they come out and move, well, we got to take advantage of that extra, you know, land that's been granted to us. So this is like a time where there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things going in and out in life. And it's not a time to be afraid of the change and afraid of the movement. It's definitely more of a time to take advantage of what you got in your life and to use it and be smart. And it can be a very intelligent weekend. You can make some really good decisions if you're sort of adapting and doing it from a really, it's your way. And you're not doing it because something told you to. You're doing it because it just makes sense to you. And that's the only thing it has to make sense to. And if you can identify a path with what shows up in your life and how to navigate certain changes and things coming in and out, you're going to have a great weekend. All right? All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you all Monday. Much love. Peace.